You're listening to The Hardpoint with Onexpunchxdad and Code Rome's.
Welcome back to The Hardpoint, episode number 49. 49. Get the waves going. We're coming up on a year of Hardpoint, serious, heartfelt conversation here. We're getting close. My name's Josh. I go by Onexpunchxdad on the internet.
Ooh, the internet. My name's Cody. I go by Big C Murd.
Big C Murd.
Not technically on the internet yet because I haven't changed my name to that on anything. So I go by C Murd in this little. Is that a fly?
It is a fly. Yeah, there's a fly.
He was like flying right
Flew
in front of the
right
camera.
in front of the camera. We got a bogey on set with us today.
Got some main character syndrome on that fly.
C Murd, C Money, C Danger, C Threat, C Hazard, C Warning,
C Missile.
C Missile. Wow. C.
That's a cool one.
C Rocket.
C Thunder.
C Thunder. I like that. I like that too.
C Thunder's pretty cool, actually.
I used to go by Thunder.
Oh, what?
Kind of. It's like.
What do you mean? You used to go by Thunder?
It's like Texas Thunder. You know what I mean? It's like
okay. Yeah.
It's still my Xbox go by.
Should I change your name in my phone to Thunder?
Yeah. Immediately.
You know what you are in my phone, and I think you've been this. Since,
Josh Green, yo.
Oh man, that must have been like the OG one. No, you're Josh Cuz CUZ.
Oh,
with this little thing
with the horns, horns emoji.
You're right here.
Ah, nice.
I guess you can't read that.
I can see it a little bit. That's a good pick of me. I think your pick is a pick from your wedding when you're like wearing your duds.
Okay,
yeah.
That's an acceptable picture.
But you're just Cody, I think.
Oh,
I can switch it up. You can be C Murd.
Put me as Thunder.
No, I'm Thunder. Back off. Big week.
C Murd.
C Murd. Done deal.
Yeah.
C Murd and Thunder
cool.
coming at you. Episode 49. Big week for the Hardpoint crew this past week. Both hit the road. Both got on airplanes. Cody was a little more, I guess we'll call it recreational, though. You'll always be recreating, man. You just be
recreate.
Yeah. See relax.
That's the name of the game, man.
Yeah. You got to let the hair down while you still got it. What'd you get into this last week, man?
Oh, man. So we went to, and I already thought this, and I think this trip confirmed that my favorite state in the U.S. is Colorado.
Colorado.
We went to Colorado. Specifically, Breckenridge is where we stayed. It's about an hour 45 from Denver.
Okay.
We got a Jeep.
We
got a big Jeep. We got a big old Jeep Wagoneer. We had 4 adults and a baby and a lot of luggage. So when I was shopping cars, I needed something large. Rented a Jeep, stayed in Breckenridge, and then with one of those days while we were there, we drove to Vail, Colorado, which I've always wanted to go to Vail for really one specific reason.
Yeah.
But James Hetfield himself lives in Vail. And I've known this for a while. He actually revealed it on, I think it's when he was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
So Vail, I've always kind of had it on my map. And it was a 45-minute drive from Breckenridge.
That's a no-brainer.
So, yeah, we were there for 5 days. Nice, not overly long trip, but it wasn't a super quick turnaround. We stayed in this sweet, it wasn't its own standalone cabin, but it was in the town of Breckenridge. Great view. Have you been to Breckenridge? Have we talked about that?
I've never been to Breckenridge. I've never been to was that like the northeast corner of Colorado?
It's just west of Denver.
Okay.
I don't know necessarily where Denver even is in relation to the rest of Colorado.
So I've been to Springs like Colorado Springs, and I've been to like the Four Corners area where our grandparents grew up, which is on the lower west side of Colorado. So no, never been.
Okay. Second time I've been to Breckenridge. The first time my sister lived in Denver for a while, and me and my wife went and saw her, and we drove to Breckenridge and just spent a day there. This time we actually stayed in Breckenridge. It is beautiful, man. It's got this charming, like, small town, quaint feel to it. You walk everywhere. There's trees everywhere. All the houses are like these tiny wood slatted blue and pink and red houses, surrounded by mountains. All the trees are yellow. A river running right through the middle of downtown. It is so picturesque. It's so clean and perfect that it feels like a movie set.
Yeah.
There's no trash. I mean, it feels like a Hallmark movie, but in real life. It's so cool. And you just walk. There's shopping, there's bars, there's restaurants, there's historical stuff, anything. It's just, you just walk around and kind of explore. And so that was a lot of fun. The greatest part was the temperature. It was a high of 57. It was during the day, you could get away with a short sleeve shirt at the peak of heat, but nights, mornings, hoodie or jacket weather. It was cold.
Yeah.
One morning we woke up and it was like high 30s, low 40s. It was beautiful.
Oh man, that's just my speed.
It was great, man. We had such a good time. We took my daughter. It was her first time on an airplane.
Yeah.
I actually meant to bring this up ahead of time and express my... Did we talk about it? Maybe we did. As I'm saying this, I feel like maybe I did bring it up.
We may have talked about it off pod, but are you referring to the fear of flying with baby?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, we didn't talk about it here.
Okay. Well, we survived. It wasn't worse than I thought, but it wasn't better than I thought either. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah.
She did good for a baby. I think as good as you can expect one to do. A little bit of crying, but for the most part, she did well. But even with the baby behaving for the most part, it is such an ass-beating hassle to fly with a baby that 10 out of 10 don't recommend that part. But sometimes you gotta do what it takes to get to another part of the country.
You gotta suck it up. Here's the thing: like a lot of people, maybe without kids, don't think about. It is like. Did you guys roll with the car seat?
We have a Duna. It's like a car seat that has wheels that flips out on the bottom and turns into a stroller. But that could be installed without a base. So we had the car seat, yes.
Okay. But even still, like when you fly by yourself, I'm going to assume you try to carry around, your carry-on's pretty light, I'm going to say.
Yes.
So right away, like that shot in the foot with the baby, because you have to carry not just the diaper bag, but however you're transporting that baby, whatever Duna or car seat or whatever it is. So you're already not moving very fast with that. And then the other part of that is my secret hack, which to soothe the baby is to be up and moving around. And you cannot be up and moving around on an airplane. So the baby is just like thrashing around trying to like, I don't want to be still right now.
No. Well, yes, so we don't ever check bags. I don't believe in checking bags. I'm a carry-on guy.
Okay.
Anytime we travel, even overseas, I've made my wife note we don't check bags. You take a backpack and a rolly bag, and you just carry your luggage.
Okay.
This was the first time that we've checked anything because we heard that you want all your hands free, and we had her crib and whatever. So we checked like 3 bags. We each had a backpack plus her and the Duna, and then you check the Duna at the gate once you get there.
Yeah, you get a red
So
tag.
then you carry her around. You're just holding. She's a lap baby,
Yeah.
She didn't have her own seat or whatever. Yeah, so not great. On the way back, yesterday was actually kind of a nightmare. It's a 2-hour flight.
Yeah.
Not even. It's like an hour and a half. It's such a short flight. We left Breckenridge at 8 a.m. I walked in my door at Texas at 8 p.m.
Oh, God.
It was 12 hours of travel to go 2 hours across the country. It was horrible. We had delayed flights. We get on the plane, get all the way to the runway, and they come over the speaker and say, have a problem with the right engine. We're gonna have to go back to the terminal.
That's a really good disgruntled captain. Actually, that was really good.
Dude, he said 20 or 30 minutes, hopefully tops. We go back to the terminal, sit there for an hour and a half on the plane.
God.
And then finally, dude, it was just a nightmare. And she slept the entire hour and a half that we were supposed to be in the air. And then when we finally take off, she's awake. Wide awake.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a tough flight.
She mad? She hollering? Or just awake?
No, she woke up one time and was scared. The problem with her is we were told to give her a bottle when you're ascending and descending to help with their ears popping.
Right.
Well, she was getting hungry too early. So there and back, she sucked the entire bottle down before we left the ground.
Oh, no.
And we're like, uh-oh.
And you don't want to, like, overfeed them.
Right.
Because you could definitely have a problem there.
Dude. There was a part I looked at her, and her eyes were kind of... I think we overfed her, but we were ascending and trying to save some of the bottle.
Yeah.
It was... We did the best we could. We survived it.
Best you could, man.
But just to put a little cherry on this story, Breckenridge, I want to retire there. Maybe in Colorado in general. Give me a small ski town up in the mountains. That's all I want. But my God, is it expensive, dude. We walked, one, just like anything you do there.
Yeah.
Really expensive.
Yeah.
Two, we walked by this house that was... This isn't going to be good for the audience, but your parents' house, not the one that they're building, the other one that's on their property.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cut that in half.
Yeah.
Okay? And it was for sale, and that little piece of paper. So I ran over to it, pulled the piece of paper out. $2 million for that house. Crazy, bro.
Couldn't be me.
Nope. And then Vail was really cool. It was more like hoity-toity, uppity. We thought Breckenridge was like kind of haughty feelings. Just go to Vail if you want to feel like a fucking peasant. I mean, that place is just way too much, man. Way, way too much. It was cool. We spent about a day there, but
yeah,
just as clean and picture perfect as Breckenridge. And saw James Hetfield's house.
Yeah, did you went and saw the house of Papa Het?
I drove by.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie. I drove by.
Is it pretty bougie?
His address just on the internet.
Oh yeah, you just Google James Hetfield's
just
house.
Google. Yep, and it was from where we parked in Vail, a 4-minute drive. I was like, well, I have to, you know.
Yeah.
And you drive up this mountain. He overlooks Vail, and you drive up and fucking dude. I mean, it's a $50. Not $50. It's a $50 million mansion on the side of this hill overlooking Vail. I'd seen pictures, so I knew what it looked like. But in person, it's so surreal, man. It's so surreal.
You got to have that harvester of sorrow money to get there, man.
I will say, my final note, it didn't disappoint me, really. But when I picture James Hetfield, I picture him... Specifically after the Joe Rogan podcast, and he talking about like beekeeping and wanting to be out in Colorado because it's away from everybody. I picture him on this like piece of property in Colorado, like a ranch with no neighbors, you know, able to do like outdoor things.
Yeah.
He's got neighbors. He's got no yard, bro. It's like a $50 million mansion on the side of a mountain with 2 mansions immediately on either side of it. It's not this like wilderness property like I was imagining.
Do you think he's in an HOA? Do you think occasionally Hetfield gets a letter that's just like, hey, love your stuff. Your fence that you put in, a little too short. Just a
Please have that adjusted.
Copy of the neighborhood bylaws included, just in case.
Do you think he pays like his own HOA dues?
If anything, if James Hetfield lived in my neighborhood and it had an HOA, I would just default and say he should run this place. He should be the chairman of the board.
It was very cool. I had my eyes peeled. There's been numerous accounts of locals seeing him just kind of in the town, hanging out. if I saw him, I was gonna go up to him. I didn't see him. I didn't confirm they weren't on tour or anything. I have no idea, but I was hoping.
Yeah. It
didn't happen though.
You always keep your fingers crossed for that accidental Papa Het encounter.
Yeah. Anyways, that was my trip. I love Colorado. I will live there one day. In Breckenridge. Breck, as they call it.
Sounds like a lovely time.
If you haven't been, just go. Rent a Jeep. Go to Breckenridge.
Go to Breckenridge. I like it. Well,
you have a star on Hollywood Boulevard?
I do not. I did. I actually didn't even get to go to Hollywood. So I did go Thursday. I flew out very early and slept. Let me just say this, because I flew by myself. I didn't have a baby. I have obtained the ability that I didn't always have to sleep like a baby on, well, I guess not like a baby. I slept very well on my flight from Oklahoma City to LA. One shot kill. It was very nice.
Yep.
And I was out cold, man. I shut my eyes. I got upgraded going and coming. So I sat first class.
Got up.
I did. It was nice, man. And I wish I could have enjoyed the experience a little more. I did enjoy it in so much that I didn't have anyone next to me, and I could just starfish out in my seat and get some proper shut eye.
What airline?
American.
You had first class in American?
I did.
Bro, you were balling.
I did. And when I flew yesterday, I got a free orange juice. So that was nice.
I've never sat in first class.
Yeah, it's nice. It is nice.
I'm not as bougie as Josh is.
So compliments to the folks who flew me out. But yeah, I get there, and LA was real cloudy. It was real misty and kind of foggy, and but it was nice. It kind of, there were palm trees everywhere. I was in kind of West LA near LAX, so nothing really like notable. Or I saw zero like skyscrapers. I was not near downtown LA. My whole first day was pretty much eating up. We did go to Santa Monica and eat some Mexican food.
Nice.
That was really good. I definitely pigged out in front of some of my fellow commercial actors, I guess. But it was really good. I got some pozole and some tacos. And then I just, had a quiet night. The reason for the trip was Thursday, and that was all on a commercial set that was at a house in a neighborhood nearby in LA there. And I have never been on a proper film set. I've never been on one. And this is probably not dissimilar from that tiny house that cost $2 million that you saw in Breckenridge, where it was not that big, probably 3-bed, 2-bath. And
talking 3-2?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, these are California prices. But there were maybe 60 people moving in and out of this building. It was like an anthill. They were just cables running everywhere and tripods and bipods, and every specific thing had a specific person. They had all these like lighting panels and all kinds of stuff set up for us. I got makeup for the first time. I sat in the chair, got makeup. I did wardrobe, which was neat.
You didn't have that shine.
Didn't have no shinies for me. All this stuff you see here, that was all gone, man. I was nice and matte for this.
Should we start doing makeup before our episodes?
We might. We might want to hire that out because I don't know what I'm doing. But it was everyone was real nice. They fed us. They had like craft services. That was really cool. So we got to eat some pretty fancy doggone like salads with quinoa in them. You would have hated it. And then we shot our commercial. I'm maybe like a 1 or 2 take kind of guy. I found out I'm pretty good. Like,
really?
Yep.
I knew you would be.
Took a couple good looks at the copy, kind of ran through it a little bit, and banged it out in not that many tries. So,
when did you? Okay, so it sounds like there were other people that were filming. Like, was this all centered around you?
No.
There...
So, without giving too much away, it was myself and some other veterans who were kind of. There was part of it was just kind of a conversation piece that they kind of filmed, so it was not scripted necessarily. There were just some questions that I would kind of tee up to the group, and they would kind of talk about their experiences because they were kind of older. And then the second half of the day was all the scripted stuff, so like teeing up the video and doing ADR and all that stuff. But yeah, it took me about 7 hours start to finish, and yeah.
I was curious, like, what is your shot quantity compared to everybody else? Like when you got done with a take, and everybody's like, "Oh, wow, pretty good. We got what we need."
It had to have been. Let me just say, these folks I was working with were great. They were a hoot. Every one of them had a real big personality, but they are not actors. They were there because they were veterans, right? So they were very much like real people, right?
Yeah.
And they were a little rambunctious. Like they were a lot of fun. I think they enjoyed the experience because it was not something any of them had really done before.
Sure.
But yeah, I do, kind of my thing, and that kind of approximates like doing takes. So I was in and out of there, man.
Really good at it, is what you're trying to say.
You're
a natural actor.
Probably a little better at it, but they were great. They did a great job.
Dude, you could be an actor. You are an actor. Could be like a big time actor though.
I know. I don't know if this will count as like an IMDb credit, but close enough, I guess.
Are you on there? Have you looked yourself up?
I'm not. No. No, it has to be. I think for IMDb, it actually has to be. Well, I don't think it has to be a union production, but it's got to be significant. It's got to be a big deal to get on IMDb. I think to start your own costs money, and fuck that. So.
Okay, that's very interesting. I knew you'd probably be good at it. When and where can we see this?
The whole campaign is kind of centered around Veterans Day, so
sure,
here in a couple weeks, around your birthday time
cool.
frame. Yeah, yeah, buddy. It'll be
and
here.
Where?
It'll be. I think it'll be on my page, and then you might see it between videos. It's going to be one of those like when you pull up YouTube and it runs an ad, and you quickly tell it to shut up and hit skip. It'll be one of those.
I can't wait to see this, man. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
What do you think of? I didn't get to spend like a lot of time in LA, but your overall impressions.
I mean, it's fine. Like I said, I didn't really have what I consider to be like the full LA experience. I will say LAX is a nightmare of an airport. It is. Have you ever flown through LAX?
Yes.
Hate it.
Times.
Hate it. It's the gates there. At one point, I got really confused because they don't have, like at DFW, we've both flown plenty of times. The gates are, you have like A, B, C, and D concourse, maybe E, I think. And then there's gates 1 through 50 or whatever, right? So all the gates are like E21, E22, B21,
Sure.
B22, whatever. In LAX, it's backwards. I found myself in a concourse where all the gates were 52, but the letters were different. So it was A52, B52, C52. I was like, why? Why?
No, that's confusing.
Did not understand.
Have you flown into Denver Airport?
No, I've heard Denver Airport is weird.
Oh my God.
I've heard it's very, very odd.
I've never gone through there and not felt like I was losing my fucking mind. It is like somebody designed it to be confusing. And I'm not even kidding. If you're trying to go somewhere, you'll find 50 different signs saying that, pointing in 50 different directions. It's so confusing. And to get to any part of the airport through security, you have to take a train. There's no like go through security straight to where you need to be. You got to go through security, hop on a train, and then kind of figure out where you got to go. It is.
Yeah. Did you see the don't they have like some like big blue satanic horse in the middle of their airport as well? Yeah.
It's got glowing. Well, when you're driving up, they have a big horse that's got like glowing red eyes. And they have like gargoyles all on the inside and these big giant paintings of genocide. It's crazy, man.
Genocide?
Yes. Look it up.
All right.
Look it up. Did you see anybody famous at LAX?
No. I
I looked in the mirror.
No. I kept my eyes peeled. I kept thinking like maybe I'll see someone from like a show I watch, maybe not I'm assuming here's my thing about like potentially seeing someone famous at an airport. Sorry, my head's itchy.
Itch that bad boy.
I'm itching it. I shaved it today, so it's a little fresh. Walking through like LAX and like a Brad Pitt walks through, I would imagine that experience is immediately diminished by the fact that A, everyone knows they're there, so everyone's crowding around, got their cell phones up, and B, the security detail is probably arranged in such a way that they obscure any real honest look at whoever they're guarding. So if I had seen anything like that, it would have just been like a huge clusterfuck of people.
Right.
But no, I was hoping, I'm a fan of plenty of like B and C tier celebrities that it would have been really cool to just be like, hey.
Like did you watch Better Call Saul?
I am familiar with the show.
Okay, I met Nacho.
You did meet Nacho. Yeah.
At LAX,
Yeah.
standing right there. Talk to him. And that's the level of celebrity you want to meet.
Yeah.
I walked up to him, had a conversation, got a picture, and nobody around us like thought twice or looked or anything like that. Like it was really, really cool.
Yeah. That's just my speed, right? That's like I think I talked about it on the show maybe once. I did run into Dee Snider of Twisted Sister.
Really?
In Charlotte, North Carolina.
I didn't know that.
And I remember I asked him, we were washing our hands. Like, I knew it was him because we took a piss. I look over and I'm like, you just know. You know.
Yes.
You know when you're in the presence of Dee Snider. We're washing our hands. I was like, hey, man, are you Dee Snider? And he was like, I am fucking Dee Snider, bro. And I was like, hell yeah.
That's what he said?
Yeah. And then
I am fucking Dee Snider, bro.
I was like, hell yeah, you are. You look like a rock star, man. He's, I don't know, 60 something.
Yeah.
But
did you picture handshake or just kind of like have that exchange and moved on?
yeah, we had that exchange. I was just kind of like, cool. I didn't
Can you
want
imagine like if you saw James Hetfield and walked up to him and you're like, you James Hetfield? And he goes, I am James Hetfield, bro.
I have a feeling that Hetfield is one of those people that can't get from A to B in an airport without 8 or 9 dudes that look like they just eat T-bone steaks for dinner every night. I got a feeling he's one of them. I mean, he's like Beatles status pretty much, right?
Yeah. So would you say Dee Snider is that the most famous person that you've met?
That's probably the most famous person that I've had I talked to them, they talked back to me encounter with. Yeah. I've met
seeing famous people. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I've met like guys in bands that we like, but you know, again, like that's kind of like varying degrees of like they're famous.
Right.
So I think a lot of that was just I was geeked because you're meeting someone who like wrote a song that you like, but famous, like recognizable the world over. Yeah. Dee Snider takes it by a lot.
Not that I've met like hardly any famous people, but meeting somebody famous out in the wild unexpectedly is a wildly different experience than something like what you were just describing, like meeting somebody from a band that you went and saw or something like that.
Right.
Because I remember when I met Nacho, not that he's huge, but like you only see him on the screen.
Yeah.
And you're scanning and you see this face that you've only seen through a screen, but he's right there and you weren't expecting to see him. And your brain is doing this weird thing of like, you recognize him, but you don't know him, and he's standing right there. For me at least, it was much different than meeting somebody that you went to a show to see him. It's still cool, but you're not surprised that you're meeting him necessarily.
Yeah, you caught him outside of that element where you would expect to see him. No, absolutely. You also met. Well, you were in the midst of Ice Cube.
Oh yeah. Ice Cube.
Yeah, I mean, you either you knew he was going to be there, or like his presence there wasn't necessarily a huge.
It was actually a 100% surprise. I had no idea.
Oh, did you speak?
No idea.
Did you speak to him at all? Like, hey, Cube, what's up?
Not really. He came in with like a whole posse of 15 people.
Yeah.
And so I was no more than 3 or 4 feet from him, but I did not have like a direct interaction with them. No,
that's okay.
I probably could have said like,
"Hey, man."
Oh. Yeah, probably, but I just kind of like
give the old white guy like self-assured nod of like,
took my hand out just like that. Him, and then in Hawaii, I walked right past Michael Irvin, the playmaker.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and I kind of that going back to the whole like seeing somebody and not expecting to see him. I walked right past, brushed shoulders with him basically. And I have a weird, I don't know. I to this day kind of regret not saying something, but there is something about catching somebody at like a resort or somewhere where they're obviously trying to relax and get away, where I just feel weird going up to them, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I just let them be, but I wish I would have said something.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like they probably would not be too perturbed although it's kind of a mix of like you want to just be like if I saw Shaq walking around, I was like, Shaq. It would be like he didn't have to do anything. He could just be like,
Right.
Yep, I'm Shaq. But also
Right.
I've also now like sounded the alarm that like Shaq's here.
Right.
And that could potentially create like a
He's a walking alarm, man. He's
Yeah.
not fucking sneaking by anybody.
Shaq ain't going anywhere incognito.
I think he would have been cool about it, and that's why I regret it. Because I think he would have been. I don't think he would have had an issue with it at all. I just kind of froze,
Yeah.
and then by the time like I decided I should say something, I would have literally been chasing after him. So
I will.
weird.
The one thing that kind of like turns me off from wanting to bother those people, if I ever do find myself in a situation like that, are all these videos I see of like the people that ambush celebrities with something to sign, and
Sure.
the video is normally from one of their perspective, but it's like you look, the whole sides of the screen are just caked with like pictures of that celebrity and a pen,
Right.
Like sign this, sign this, sign this, sign this, and all those people want is a signature that they can then go and sell.
Right.
Which is, to me, is just like that's not even, those guys probably aren't even that geeked to see this famous person,
Right.
Yeah. But I guess people make their whole living doing all this stuff like that. But those are the times where the celebrities seem the most like,
Right.
I'm sorry, I'll do like 3, and then you know what I mean. Like I never want to be that kind of a fan to these
No.
people.
I think you start by not immediately asking for something, like just kind of, hey, big fan.
Yeah.
Wanted to come say hi. And you kind of gauge their reaction. If you walk up, hey, can I have a picture? Or hey, sign this. I feel like that is it's going to put them on the defensive. But if you just kind of,
It almost kind of reduces them to like a landmark. Like,
right.
you know, you don't have to ask the Statue of Liberty for a picture.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. But
know-
if you're just kind of like, hey, wanted to come up, meet you, big fan, you can judge their reaction. If they're very cool, maybe at the end you can say, would you be open to taking a picture? They may say yes. They may say no. I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Be cool, people. Just be cool.
Be chill.
Be chill.
If
That's
you
right.
see Josh in the wild, don't run up to him and ask him to sign anything.
You can do
right off
whatever
the
you
bat.
want to me. You can do whatever. I don't care. I'm not a real famous person. People have come up to me, and it's always a delight. It never wears me out. I love attention.
Congrats on your trip.
Thanks. Yeah,
Congrats on slaying it.
This-
I can't wait to see the merch.
this is a good time. Hey, real quick before we pivot to anything else, I do want to say this. I know you're not the biggest baseball enjoyer, but we're down to the wire. Down to the wire. ALCS and NLCS are going on right now. I don't even know if you're watching, but do you have?
I'm not.
Do you know who's in it?
No.
Name one team that's in.
That's what I was trying to do.
One should be kind of obvious because they got a dude on their team who's just like,
Dodgers?
yeah, the Dodgers and the Mets are at NLCS right now.
Okay.
Dodgers are leading 1 game.
Okay.
And then ALCS, I think first game for that is tonight. Yeah, tonight. And that's Cleveland and the Yankees.
Okay. All I know
Yeah.
is Houston and Texas are not in either of those.
No, so
Well aware of
Houston was eliminated in the first round of the ALC the ALC postseason.
Okay.
They lost to Detroit, who then lost to Cleveland.
Okay.
But yeah, Texas
Who
not.
who we going for?
I don't know, man. Here's my thing. I don't want the Yankees to win. I never want the Yankees to win. I feel like I shouldn't want the Dodgers to win, but I really, I am like Shohei fever for sure.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else.
I feel like I need to watch him. I haven't watched 1 second of him playing baseball. I'm well aware of like who he is and how rare he is, but I haven't witnessed any of it.
Dude, Shohei Ohtani is a nuke factory, man. And it's just like there's just something about watching this dude play baseball and just watching the way he hits. He really does. What I'm going to say sounds kind of racist, but he really just looks like he has the discipline of a samurai when he swings that bat. I mean, he really does look like
hell yeah.
He has devoted his entire being to hitting baseballs,
dialed in
and
to another level,
and stealing bases, because that dude is oddly gifted at steals. And I mean, it shows, right? He's the first guy to get to 50 and 50 in a single season. So
do you think the way to get really good at hitting baseballs would be to get really good at slicing a penny with a samurai sword? I mean, drink your target, and then it's going to feel like if you're hitting a baseball, you're hitting a fucking beach ball at that point.
I mean, I would say the best way to get good at it is hitting baseballs with a bat, but also I'm sure most of these dudes on these teams are doing that.
Right. So you got to do what everybody is not doing. That's your edge.
I will say this: Shannon Sharp, when he left, what's that show he used to do with the other guy? Dang.
Undisputed.
When he left Undisputed, they asked him, they were like, what is the hardest thing to do in any sport? And he said, hitting the baseball. That is the hardest thing it is to do every time.
Really?
Hardest thing I've ever done. Try to hit that baseball. And I think that's the thing you either have,
right,
kind of have, or you don't have it. I think most guys in the Major League Baseball kind of have it. Right? They're good enough. They got to be really good at making plays when they're fielding, right?
Sure.
But very few of them, I think, have just the absolute undefeated, well, not undefeated, but just like reliable swing that Shohei Ohtani has.
I think it's one of those things, me included, that people underestimate. Have you seen those videos of, it's like the POV of the umpire and seeing how fast those balls are coming in?
Yeah.
Like on TV, it doesn't translate. But if you see like an actual perspective video of it, I mean, from pitch release to impact of glove is like
milliseconds.
Shoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fast.
I will say this. As someone who's watched a fair amount of baseball, I could never call a strike or a ball. I would need a minute after every pitch to be like, okay, let's break this
out. And replay.
Bring up the box. Yeah. No, I am so bad at like reading a hit song. I think that's why you dominate me in freaking the show all the time, because I'm so bad at like mapping the hit box or the strike zone, whatever. It's tough. I don't have it. That I can't do.
Play some more of that.
We do need to play some more of that. It's baseball season, baby. It's baseball season. Anyway,
it ain't Cowboy season.
No, it is. Holy Lord.
Stuck.
Talk about
embarrassing.
Listen, man. How many interceptions? 3 or 4?
Should have been 6.
Like
probably.
big ones. Like, hey, we're in the red zone. We're about to put points up.
Yeah.
And just completely shit the bed. Jerry Jones up there watching like an old owl. That's just like,
it was on his birthday.
Was it really?
It's his 82nd birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yep.
Oh man, sorry, my nose hairs are itching me. Do you trim your nose?
Right.
You trim your nose hairs?
I absolutely do.
Yeah,
I absolutely do. Yeah, and because when they get too long, you can feel like as you're breathing.
Yeah,
like restricts your breathing. So that's about time to go trim them.
Raking the sides of your nasal cavity. and
yeah, I definitely do the trimmy trim.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Anyway, that was my shout. I wanted to mention baseball because we're back in the playoff season. No Rangers to speak of this year, but
well, keep me updated. We'll have a baseball minute each week. You let me know what's going on.
We will. I think we've only got about like 3 weeks left. So
Cool.
Should take us through the
Tune
end.
in here for the latest on baseball.
Yeah, the most in-depth analysis of baseball. All right, let's do some
Where we at?
write-ins.
Let's say what where are we at time wise?
We're at 40 minutes, but I think that'll work for me if it works for you.
Yeah.
Set some write-ins.
Okay. Edward Pilu. This is kind of an interesting one. Would you rather go back in time 2,000 years or forward in time 2,000 years, and why? I think mine's pretty easy.
Yeah, forward.
Yeah. I think no brainer.
Yeah, forward.
What 2,000 years? What year was it 2,000 years ago?
24.
24?
Yeah.
Do you understand time?
Do I understand time?
Like, when you get back to 0, where does it go from there?
Well, I don't like. I think there are several different methods of keeping time, but I think 2024 is like the current way of tracking recorded history. There were tens of thousands of years of humans before 2000 or 0. That was just.
Does that trip you out?
Yeah, yes and no. What trips me out? Okay, what trips me out more is that if you were to stretch out all of time,
right?
Like all of perceived time, I guess from whatever, creation, Big Bang, whatever, and you were to look at human history on that rope, let's pretend it's a rope, we are like barely a millimeter of that. All human existence.
A speck of dust.
Yeah. Yeah. We are something that in the scope of the time that the universe has existed and will exist are less than the blinking of an eyeball.
That is kind of, it's interesting and terrifying. Just like the vastness of space is impossible to wrap your head around. I feel like time is also impossible to actually wrap your head around.
Yeah.
And so we think about people like in the 1800s, 1700s as so long ago. And it can't be understated how small of a speck of dust that is compared to even just human history. And then, like you said, zoom out even further, and you're talking about world history, and that's a speck of dust on that. It's like it keeps being a speck of dust, and then you zoom out, and that's a speck of dust, and then you zoom out, and that's a speck of dust.
It's like it sounds dumb, but like the end of Men in Black. Do you remember Men in Black?
Yeah.
The end where it does that, like it zooms out and it's like our galaxy, several galaxies, the universe, and then it's all just like in a marble that a giant alien is playing with. There was no reason for them to do that other than just to like make you feel incredibly insignificant as a sentient being.
Just tiny. That's wild. You can go tens of thousands of years ago, and they're humans then.
Yeah. Yeah. They probably weren't very old, but
dude,
yeah.
That's why it's kind of I don't really worry about like the end of times or the end of the world, because we would have to be the most unlucky people for that to actually be happening during we think of our lifetime as this big, huge, long thing, and it couldn't be smaller and more insignificant compared to like the greater timeline. So if things actually, and if we saw the end of times in you or I's lifetime, the odds of that are astronomical.
Here's my prediction for this 2,000 years in the future, because I feel like already just in my lifetime, I wouldn't say we've made like massive strides, but the trajectory is starting to kind of speak to what's going to be available probably after we're gone even.
Right.
In 2,000 years, I do not think if humans are still around, they won't be existing in their flesh and bone bodies. I think human consciousness at a certain point is going to be probably digitized at a certain point, and you will be able to be uploaded and preserved in some way and continue existing potentially indefinitely. I know that sounds kind of dumb, and it's not even my own original idea. Anyone who's watched Black Mirror has been like, yeah, you just watched a show. I really like, I kind of like, I see that being plausible. Maybe 100 years from now, 200 years from now. Feels like some. So to fast forward 2,000 years in a society, a human society that is still around. If it is still around, that's what I think they're doing. I think they are all. Yeah. It's like, oh, let's just get your brain on a flash drive and upload you to the Paradise server, and you can just kick it with the rest of us forever.
It would be 4,024.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's a big.
That's not. I mean, it's crazy, but it's not crazy.
I have one final thought on this, and this always kind of blew my mind.
I love it.
I heard somewhere once that the idea of time travel is not necessarily as far-fetched and fantastic as we think it is. The problem is that if you were to travel through time, you would have to travel back to the Earth, and all the planets are not still in space, just rotating in around a track. They are moving as they orbit and as they turn on their axes.
Okay.
So if you were to travel back in time to 10th grade, well, in 10th grade, the Earth was thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of miles from where it is now. So you would just be traveling to where the Earth was when you were in 10th grade, which it's not there anymore. And that apparently, I don't know how true this is. I'm not a quantum physicist, but that is the problem with time travel, is that it has been proposed that you could travel through time some way, but you would be traveling to a point where the Earth no longer is.
So it's almost location based,
I guess. I don't know.
Not time based.
There's probably a physicist listening to this. There's not. We don't. That's not the kind of audience we have. But they're like, dude, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. You're right. That's just something I heard. But when I heard it, it definitely made me think about that is also a factor, maybe on some level. So anyway.
You don't know that Cool Boy 3010 is not a physicist.
He might be. That may be why Pelelu teed that question up. He's like, I want to test their knowledge of the universe here. Anyway, not only do I love that question, I love where that conversation went. Anything involving time or the universe or just the vastness of both. Man, pretty scary.
I like going deep on that stuff, man. It's crazy.
Scary stuff. All right.
Well, speaking of time, you just want to do one write-in?
You got one more?
Yes.
All right. Run it.
Cool Boy 3010. Wow. Speaking of. This is a terrible question for me. What is your best impression that you do, favorite one to do, and what is one that you wish you could do? I can't do impressions. That's not in my repertoire.
All right, you did a really good like airline captain. Attention passengers, we got. That was good. That was a good impression that you did, and you just whipped that thing out.
I didn't even practice that.
I can do Ian McKellen from Lord of the Rings pretty well.
Hold on, who's that?
It's Gandalf.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I have to do it now. Frodo, let's see here. Because you got to have a little bit of old guy whistle.
Yeah.
Got to think of something that Gandalf might say. Let's see. I was delayed. I don't have any.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yes. Well, I practice that one regularly in my car.
That is pretty good.
All right, thanks.
Very good.
Yeah.
I don't have a very dynamic voice. It just kind of like is what it is.
You got to play with it, bud. You got to play with it. Take that rubber band and stretch it out a little bit. See what shapes you can make with it. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah.
It's a pretty basic voice.
You got a wonderful voice. Beautiful.
Thanks, man.
Calming timbre to it.
What else can you? I've heard you do other impressions.
Man, I'm trying to think of another one I could do. I feel like all mine are like kind of, but not quite there. I can do Brian from Family Guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Peter. Hey, stop being such a.
I've never heard that.
Hey, thanks.
You can do the old guy from Family Guy too, can't you?
Yes. Sometimes. Everyone can kind of do that one. Just pitch your voice up and whistle.
Me. I don't understand how you whistle and talk at the same time.
You put your teeth or your lip kind of towards the top of your mouth, and every time you say an S sound, you just whistle it out. Do you ever whistle like that? And you ever go like, hey, come here?
I can only whistle like with my lips.
It's an art. Just put your teeth together and let it rip.
Oh. Just riveting audio.
Yeah, that was good. I like it. Yeah.
Oh, that's all the questions.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
You can do Trump, can't you? Kind of Trump.
I can. I've been told my Trump is good. Some people say it's not great. Those people, they're liars. They're watching the fake news media.
I love Trump impersonations. I think they're hilarious.
Yeah, they are pretty funny. As long as they're good.
Hey, man. Come on, man. That's Malarkey, man.
Who's that?
Biden.
I thought you were doing like.
Hey, man. Oh, man.
When have you ever heard Joe Biden talk like that, Cody? Hey, man. Hey.
It's Malarkey, man.
I thought he was in the room with us. Honestly, that was.
There you go.
It's impressive.
You and I could have a debate.
Yeah, we could. my B level Trump and your A level, your A tier Joe Biden, just tearing it up.
Oh man.
Hey man. I could do a pretty good Obama. That was.
Let's hear it.
He said we were. I don't. What is something Obama would say? I got to think about that one. Cody, your Joe Biden impression gave me an aneurysm. Okay.
Oh.
It was so bad. All right. Enough of that. I loved it. Barack didn't like it so much.
You Baracked it.
Hey, thank you. I didn't think it was that good personally. I've heard better. All right. Hey, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in with us this week. We're getting close to a year of Hardpoint episodes. Crazy. I'm on the road again this week, but we'll be back next week.
Where are you going this week?
South Carolina.
You've had South Carolina, D.C., I guess that apparently didn't work out, L.A.
We're going coast to coast, baby. We're taking this show on the Rizzode.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
really? Are you going to be gone next weekend?
I'm going to be here next weekend. I'll be gone all this week. I'll be here next weekend. And then I go to San Diego the week after that. So
dang.
Traveling.
A whale's vagina.
San Diego. That's right. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. If you like what you hear, give us a review. Leave us a comment. If you like what you saw on the YouTube, give us a subby. Ding that bell. Give us a comment. Right into the show. There's a link in the description to the Discord. Go to the Discord. Go to the channel that says Questions for Podcast. And say some. Speak.
Come on, man.
Speak.
Do it. Do it, man.
Do
it. Give us a rider, man. Come on. Well, lucky, man.
Yeah, listen to Joe. That's I love that. Hey, we'll be back next week. Thank you for tuning in. I want to wish you all bad jab blessings. Wish him Baja blessings, Joe. Hey, man.
Come on, man. Baja blessings, man. Come on.
We'll see you next week. Get fisted.